anyways, the Musketeer Coaches, step 2. The Musketeer Coaches Show is right here on 620 KMNS at Bob Rose North End Zone. Curtis Anderson with you, along with the associate head coach for the Sioux City Musketeers, and Mark Abalan. And would you kick Luke to the curb, or what happened? What's going on?
Man, the guy actually got sick. I didn't think it was possible. So
I didn't think there was either.
Made a call to the bullpen. It was like the Yankee game I was watching last night. It was a little early call, but I was ready. So
because for a guy that sleeps about 3 hours a day, I would think that he'd get sick more than once a year.
Yeah, I need sleep in my life, I'll tell you that, Curtis. It definitely keeps me going, so I'm always wondering. I thought this guy was like made of iron, but I guess there's always a little something, but he's actually feeling a lot better. So.
A couple of things that we'll cover during the show, obviously, is the game against Green Bay this past week. A nice win. Any win on the road is an awesome win. We're going to talk with a couple of the captains that were announced last week. Luke Johnson, Parker Ford will be on the show, but let's jump right away with Coach Abalan. Green Bay, this game, this was just one game on a Friday, long trip, but a victory. What did you guys see on film?
You know, first of all, I mean, I think it's sure made the trip worth it to go get 2 points. I mean, that's, you know.
How tough would it be, one game and 0 points?
Brutal.
And that could happen.
Yeah, brutal. And I think the rhythm of our season's been interesting. Just with 3 games, it feels like we should have played more games. I think our preseason was short just by design from our staff, and so it's been a little bit of a hidden blessing that we've had just 3 games to get the team in rhythm. I think we definitely have some returning players, which gives us a great core, but we have a lot of guys with inexperience. So it's been good, and the road trips early, I think, are awesome for the team to, you know, just to be together. And so you build your team that way, and so that's been good. I felt like, you know, the game could have gone either way. I think it was a pretty even game. I think we did some things really well in the game. I think our goaltending was exceptional. And I think we did just enough to win, and so sometimes on the road that's what you need. You know, I think we're just a typical early season team where we just have a lot of areas where we're going to keep getting better, and I think we are getting better. And so, you know, I think our penalty kill was better in the game, which was good. I think, you know, just our defensive game at times is getting better. That's always I think the hardest thing to teach with a group when you're coming together. In our offensive game, you know, I thought we did, like I said, just enough to get the victory.
Your power play was excellent.
Yeah, weren't we good? 0 for 1, and I wish we'd get a couple.
Like, what was it, a total of 20 seconds?
13, I think.
13,
so, but yeah, I mean, I definitely keep a keen eye on it, and I feel like, you know, I think, what are we, 1 for 12 on the year, and I really feel like we've got about 7 power plays actually, and so we'll get it going. It's getting better just as far as practice and the concepts, and, you know, hopefully it makes a difference, you know, when it needs to, and I think ultimately that's what's gonna be, if it's good or if it's not good.
Let's start off again with Ben Cross, and you know, Ben, he was going in with a goals against average up on the first 2 games. I think we all knew better what he is.
Yep.
He makes it look, and I hate saying this, he makes it look boring because he's so positionally sound.
He really is. He's just calm in the net. He's got a great, that's really his personality too. I mean, he's just a very calm, methodical kid, and that's how he plays, and I think it gives the team a real confidence that he can bail them out, and he just makes saves. You know, and really I think he's been great for us. He was great in Game 1 against Green Bay. He really wasn't his fault in Game 2 with what happened. We just didn't play very well around him, and you know, so I guess his numbers reflect that maybe, but then he was lights out in Game 3, and he was our best player, and that's why we won the hockey game.
You look at this game at Green Bay, and Green Bay's a hard-working team, and we'll get into that a little bit, especially on their relentless forecheck. But sometimes you have to hard work against them, and these are awesome goals. Is getting pucks to net sometimes, making it simple, and Matt Miller deflecting it.
Totally. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, you've got to get pucks to the net. You've got to get bodies to the net. I think that's one of the areas we've been really stressing that we still have to get better at. And when we do it,
you had like 2 or 3 guys in front of the net. I had no idea who deflected it because you had a pile of them.
It was a great play, and so when we're committed to playing that way, you know, that's hockey now. I think, you know, it's about attacking, it's about shooting the puck, it's about, you know, our big theme this week has been attack, has been a word we've been using, and that's what we need to be, an attack team. And that's, again, without the puck, with the puck, getting bodies to the net, getting pucks to the net. yeah, it's a reason we scored the goal. And even Steiny's goal, the second goal, he was skating, he was moving, he was attacking, shooting on the move, and he scored a nice goal to give us a 2-1 lead.
Nice spot to put it in, far side. Just saw that little area and from the right circle coming in. Yeah, that was good.
It was, and we need we need a little more of that, I think, to create a little more offense. I think that was the one thing. The first 2 games we did create more offense than we did in Game 3, but sometimes it's just enough to get the W.
The empty netter, what were the chances that Martin Pospisil was actually going to shoot that puck? Slim and none, or what?
He has been shooting a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, what a selfless play, actually. And but totally, but absolutely. I mean, he was passing, and he loves to set the table for his line mates, and he's obviously pretty elite at it. So it was fitting to end that way, and it sure felt good on the bench when you finally get that empty net goal. So we're not,
biting our nails?
Biting our nails till the end,
This game was a hard-working affair for Green Bay, and it kind of stymied you guys a little bit. And I guess as long as you get the 2 points, it really was a good hard-working lesson against that 1-2-2 forecheck, and I'm thinking 1-2-2 shouldn't be that heavy, should it?
Yeah, I think it.
They were.
Yeah.
They came in, and their defense came up too.
Yeah. It's a 1-2-2, but they push up with 2 forwards a lot, and so there's really a lot of pressure on the 2 defensemen, to beat 2 guys, and so there's not a lot of time to make that play. And I think, again, when we did it well, we were good in the game. We had a good start to the game. We had a good first period in the game. The second period, we were definitely rope-a-dope. I mean, it was a period where we get out of there ahead 2-1, and it's the whole difference in the game. And then the third period, I think, was pretty even hockey. Was even. I mean, if we look at scoring chances, it's what we do as far as how we really analyze the game, where they come from. Not as much. I mean, shots are an indication of something for sure, but they're really overrated, to be honest with you, in our analysis of what's going on. And chances in the first period, we outchanced them. The second period was very lopsided for them, and so that's where Crosby really stepped up and just kept us in it. And some of it was their pressure, some of it was their forecheck. And when you don't get out of your zone, or you don't get the puck into their zone and you turn pucks over in areas, the game becomes a balance of pressure. And when the pressure, and who wins that balance of pressure during the hockey game is usually the team that wins the game. And I think all in all, we really did win that balance of pressure, but boy, in the second period, it was a tilted rink for sure. And to get out of there not giving up a goal was really pretty remarkable. Yeah,
and that puts it on Crosby, as you mentioned. But clearing pucks sometimes, it was frustrating to watch at times. And it looks like early season clearing pucks, you know what I mean? With guys that maybe haven't played together, maybe some were young, maybe some are learning that this USHL is awfully good.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just learning the consistency of the battle level that's required in this league. There's no shifts that are off, and I think kids coming from high school, coming from midget, coming from prep school, they're just not used to that, like the high threshold of the competitiveness of every shift. And so that is the mark of just a young team. But I'm a firm believer in this league, and I've been in the league long enough to understand, and I think Coach feels the same way. Like, you have to win early in this league. You just do, whatever that means, however it looks. And if you can win early, you build confidence that way, you build up a bank of points, and then ultimately you hit your stride and you get better, and your team gets better. And so I think those are that's the positives of what we got going. I think our guys feel pretty good about being 2-1, and they should. And we've got a big week to just prep for one team again, and it's going to be a hard game, as it always is in Cedar Rapids, but it's a fun place to play. And so we put all our energy into that, and we try to get 2 points.
I remember 2 years ago with this Musketeer crew, it was 2-1, 1-0, 2-1 before Christmas, before offense kind of was clicking better.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got guys. I mean, this looks like a high-end team.
I think we definitely have good sticks, I would say, on our team. We have talented guys. I think we have good speed, and I think we have talented players. I mean, we can go through our roster, pretty thoroughly, like you said, and we do. We've got guys that can score goals, I think, all through the lineup. And you got to put the pieces together to put the puck in the net in this league, and you got to get special teams going, which, that's always an emphasis for us. But yes, I think we're a team that we can score some goals, and you know, I think if you look at, we have scored some goals already. I mean, what did we score? 5? We scored 4.
You're averaging 3.6.
Yeah, and so that's
a nice number.
It is good.
If you average 3.6 for the first half of the season, I think you're going to be happy.
Totally, and you know, the big test, these next 5 games are going to be really a good just test for us. We got Cedar Rapids, we got Fargo twice, we got Waterloo, and then we have Des Moines in short order, and so it's going to pick up steam real fast here.
Well, I'll tell you what, your next game coming up on Saturday, Cedar Rapids. Why don't we focus on that later in the show? We'll take a break. We'll talk with the 2 captains that are here for today, but there we go.
Perfect. Thanks, Curtis.
This is your sports show, and it's the Musketeer Coaches Show, and it's right here at Bob Rose North End Zone. Brought to you by Knife River, is one of our fine sponsors of the Coaches Show. Fox Sports Radio 620, KMNS. Continues here at Bob Rose North End Zone. As we talk Musketeer hockey, it's brought to you by Knife River, is one of our fine sponsors. And I tell you what, we have a couple of captains. We have the team captain, Luke Johnson, with us, and then we have assistant captain Parker Ford with us. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, this is second year for both of you guys, and it's a whole different spot. I guess I'll kind of ask back and forth. Last year, you were a first-year player for you, Luke. Different feeling at this time this year, or what?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, guys always talk about how you're a lot more comfortable coming back for a second year, kind of being a veteran guy. And, yeah, looking back where I was a year ago, just how much more comfortable I am and kind of being more communicative with coaching staff, I guess, kind of helps too. So.
Parker, last year you dealt with injury right away.
Yeah.
You gotta feel comfortable right now anyway.
Yeah, I mean, kind of opening the season with a broken hand, it's kind of tough, but yeah, like Luke said, just confidence is huge. I mean, coming into the league second year, you're a lot more confident and just comfortable. The playing style and all that.
Is it slower for you right now, Parker? I mean, has things slowed up for you, I guess?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. Obviously, the pace is really fast, but I'm used to it now. So things are kind of slowing down. I'm seeing the net a little bit better, I'd say. So, yeah.
Compete level, the 50-50 battles. I mean, you're playing against the best of who you've ever played against on the opponent. I'm taking those 50-50. You're not a huge guy. How are you winning this?
I mean, that's a good question. I guess it could be a little lucky, but I think
usually you get cross-checked after you take puck after puck.
Yeah, I mean, I do get beaten up a lot of times, but yeah, I think it's just all about compete. Like, it doesn't really matter your size. I've always been one of the smallest on the ice, kind of, and just if you want to come out of the corner with the puck, you gotta compete and just work.
Stick work or just position?
Yeah, I think the first body position. If you can get in there and get into his hips, no matter how big he is, you can't really do anything about that. So.
Luke on the other side, you're on the blue line. Parker's is on the forward spot of it, and Parker center or wing. We'll ask you that, which you like better. But from the beginning of the year towards the end of the year, that pressure that comes in on you, clearing pucks, moving pucks, that had to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of comes with the territory, though. Just kind of.
Because you guys were all young on the blue line.
Yeah. Last year was kind of nice. I mean, nice coming in this year with a lot of guys that I played with last year. So kind of coming into that chemistry, but yeah, I mean, coming into the league, how fast it is, kind of like Parker said. Still same pace, just kind of slows down our minds. Just seeing it after 2 years now.
Yeah, and seeing it, spotting it.
Yeah,
you know,
there's some stuff that you just pick up on that you would have never coming into it.
Luke, you're captain in Edina?
Yeah.
Tell me the differences and tell me what is the difference between a high school captain and a junior captain?
I think just playing for a school was a little bit different than playing for. I mean, you're still playing for the same city and all that, but I guess there's a lot more responsibility here with just how much better the players are. I mean, I knew those guys my whole life at Edina, and now coming here, you got a lot more new faces and a lot more different paths. You got to kind of get all the guys to gel, and I mean, I think it's a lot more fun being a captain here.
How do you see yourself as a captain, or what do you want to project as a captain in leadership?
I think we were talking. Someone asked us this the other day, but I think both of us are kind of just lead by example guys, but we're not afraid to speak up if anything comes up. So try to just be a good role model for younger guys, and just kind of get along with everyone.
Parker, same?
Yeah, I think leading by example is huge. But yeah, if something needs to be said, I'll say it. I think all the guys are comfortable coming up and saying whatever. We're pretty close, so yeah, I just want to kind of play my game, and hopefully others will follow.
Is it more important to be a captain on the ice or off the ice?
I'd say off the ice.
Yeah.
If you're
ready, being the right person.
Yeah, like if you're always the one dialed in, and you're kind of setting the pace. Your teammates see that, and they're gonna do whatever they can to make the team win, and that starts off the ice.
Parker, for people that don't know around the area, where is Wakefield, Rhode Island?
It's in southern Rhode Island.
There is like directions in Rhode Island. Rhode Island's like one
tiny city in there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Like the burbs of.
I don't know. Only Rhode Islanders will really know, I guess. But I'm about 10 minutes from the beach, which is really nice. About Nantucket, that's in Massachusetts.
Well, I mean, they're right across. You can take a plane, right?
Yeah, you can take a ferry there. Personally, I think I've only been there once on a school trip, so I'm not really familiar with the area. But yeah, it's kind of far just because of the water, and you kind of have to go out of the way to get there.
You got to get across the water to see anything else, right?
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of an interesting state, and both of you guys chose Providence. Okay, so I can understand a little bit right away. Parker is from the area, so you probably had the opportunity to see it, back it, what have you. I assume that's where it started.
Yeah, ever since I was little, I always went to games with my friends and family, and just growing up, like, you dream of going there, and once you get that opportunity, it was almost a no-brainer for me, and yeah, I'm just, all my friends and family, like, can't wait for me to get there so they can just watch me.
It's a long ways for friends and family to come see it. So
yeah, believe it or not, it's even in Rhode Island, they don't like to drive more than 10 minutes, so it might even be tough for them to come to that too. But
well, just to make sure you win. They might want to see a winner.
Yeah.
John, so why Providence?
I think coming into it last year, I was uncommitted coming out of high school, and I hadn't thought a whole lot about going to the East Coast, but when I came here, I started talking to Providence, and I mean, I was already pretty good buddies with Parker, but when I started talking to Coach Lehman and just going out there on my official visit, it was kind of no-brainer. The hockey culture there and that whole staff. They got Ron Rolston, who's an unbelievable coach, and he's got a really good track record, and Chris Mayotte, who used to play here, won a Clark Cup here. And
Chris Mayotte is there? Is he the goalie coach?
No, he's the assistant coach.
He calls games, by the way.
Yeah, I know. He's a really good guy. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that was the last visit I took, and I felt the most comfortable there, and it was just kind of, like Parker said, no-brainer to go out there.
Yeah, and we've had Musketeers out there. In fact, we do still have Musketeers out there. Wilkins is a terrific player. I assume you got to talk to your coach when we were in Pittsburgh. I chatted with one of your coaches in Pittsburgh a little bit, because everybody was there, it seemed like.
Yeah, two of the, Ron Rolston was there, and Mayotte was there too. So Coach Lehman came to that Omaha game when we were in Omaha, but we played Tri-City in Lincoln. He was there for that. Yeah.
What do you, as you prepare, and you always have to come up with this to yourself, okay, obviously Providence will say, hey, we're ready for you, we think you're ready to play, that kind of thing, but you also have to be ready where you want to be as well. What goes into it for you first, Luke? Could you have gone last year, after last year? Or was it a tough decision to come back for another year for juniors?
I mean, just with kind of the depth that they had, I mean, there was a little bit of talk of going in, but I think just realizing the opportunity that I had to come back here and be a leader and play a lot, and yeah, that was the right path for my development to play an extra year, and I'm happy with my decision right now.
I'm always for it because another 60 games in is pretty good. How about you, Parker?
Yeah.
Did your injury early have anything to do with it too?
I would say no. Originally, the plan for me was to play 2 years here. That first year, like I said, it's kind of getting used to the league and everything, but the injury did throw me off a little bit, but I mean, like I said, 2 years was kind of the situation anyway, so.
Very important things are rules that come with the team. Obviously, there's rules that come from the higher ups, and then there's player rules. Is there any certain player rules that the captains establish? Is there certain things like, I've heard in the past, English in the locker room, nobody's talking some finish behind our backs and having fun like that? And is there certain fines for doing certain things for the rooks and stuff like that?
I don't know. This year we've kind of talked to Coach, and he kind of wanted us to not have any rookies or veterans. So
everyone, and by the way, you have a lot of guys with junior experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much of a problem. All the guys get along really well, and I guess the only rules we've kind of had are like everyone's got to clean the bus. You can't just get off, or else you get fined packing the bus.
Everyone's packing the bus.
Yeah. So I mean, there hasn't been too many strict rules. We just kind of set guidelines at the beginning of the year, like explaining juniors to the younger guys. And
yeah, if it was just rookies out of junior, you got like
we'd have like 5 guys packing the bus.
Bus the whole time.
Yeah, we wouldn't get out of there quick.
Yeah, any certain rules on hat wearing or things like that?
Yeah. For any team events, no hats, no phones. Just it's all about respect, really. Yeah, and like that's the type of culture we kind of want here. Coach Strand talks about it all the time, like the way you act off the ice, that's going to transfer on the ice. So, like he always says, like if your bedroom's a mess, like most likely your forecheck's going to be a mess or something like that.
It's good for guys though, like when we're on the road too, like when we're at team meals like that, to kind of put your phone away and just enjoy being on the road with the guys, because I mean after we left last year, it's kind of, you realize how many memories you make with these guys and how much you miss it, so might as well live in the moment. Yeah.
You can talk to them anytime.
Yeah, that's good.
How good is this team, Johns?
I mean, we always talk about it, but it was so frustrating not to get in because we were kind of just figuring it out. But I mean, we have such a smart team this year. Like, guys are picking up the systems really quick, which is last year it took us forever to even figure out a breakout. Yeah, but yeah, that's a different set of problems, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, it's coming together really quick, which is really exciting. So it looks really good.
Parker, is there team goals? Is there conference goals or anything like that? Or we just have to sit on game by game? Or
win a Clark Cup?
Yeah. I mean, we sat down in the beginning of the season and we kind of all set our goals, and it was kind of redundant, but everyone in the room wants to win it all. Obviously, we want to make the playoffs, and to do that, it takes a game and a game at a time, but I mean, everyone in the room is so competitive, and we just want to win it all, you know.
Talk about memories. It's interesting because I've done this for a zillion years now, and the guys that I talk to that have played on this team, some of their best memories, even over some college experience, have come from juniors. And success or not, or what have you. It's interesting how many guys poke their head back. You know, shoot this weekend, I'll see Ben Kinney. He called his games. He's in Cedar. I mean, it just comes across. It's a small world, but you got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
This will be a fun year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Avery Peterson was here a couple weeks ago, and he's a Minnesota guy, so I grew up watching him actually, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, Mr. Hockey, and but he kind of gave us a speech like, you know, college is a lot of fun, and obviously he won a national championship, but he said some of his best memories were from Sioux City, like playing junior. So
yeah, you see it, the size of him if you want.
Yeah. The unit. He's been that big since high school. Yeah, it's unreal.
Good family too, by the way.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I'd never met him before.
It's kind of interesting to see these guys and where they've come. I mean, I bring up a Jake Genzel, who was here 5 years ago. I don't know how many. It
might be less than that.
It could be because he was only in Omaha 2 in 1 year.
No, he's there for 3, I think.
But yeah.
So yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, and he was
pretty crazy. Yeah, he's alright.
Yeah. He's not too bad.
Okay.
He's not too bad.
If you like to get a shake named after you at
I saw that.
In the NHL,
that's pretty crazy.
that'd be all right.
Yeah, that's not
Does that mean
bad.
you have it?
Yeah, I think he's set. Yeah.
Yeah. When you get
he made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he scored 2 goals in the first game this year. So
must be the shake.
Must be the shake. Guys, appreciate you coming on. Congrats on the leadership, and we'll see you at Cedar.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Parker Ford, Luke Johnson. We'll take a break, and you're listening to the Musketeer Coaches Show on Fox Sports Radio 620 Canada. This is the Musketeer Coaches Show, and it's right here on Fox Sports Radio 620 Kamenez at Bob Rose North End Zones, brought to you by Knife River. Back with me is Mark Abalan. He is the associate head coach for the Sioux City Musketeers, back and rolling. Cedar Rapids is the opponent, and that's coming up on Saturday. You had mentioned it's always they're always good, especially there. I can remember a few times I've been on the bus with you, and we've gone away from that area not very happy.
Yeah, well, for sure. There's been some beauties in there. I don't know. I think
it happens fast.
Oh yeah, it might have been 2000. I don't know. Might have 11. I think we lost 10-3 there. It might have been one of the biggest ass kickings I've ever been a part of in hockey, and it was not fun. But you know, you live and you learn, and you know, Mark's always got a good team. He's always got a team that just plays fast, and they're off to a good start this year.
Were there at the time?
Yeah.
Like Paulie's birthday or something?
Myself and Keith Paulson. Brett Larson, his dad, unfortunately had died at the time, and so we had the team, and boy, we didn't do so hot. So.
And I think it was like Keith Paulson's birthday or something.
It was something like that, and.
It wasn't yours, was it?
No, it wasn't my birthday. It was too early in the year. It was really early. It was. I mean, it was one of our. It was like about this game of the year, you know, and we went there, and they know the fans and everyone out there will remember Matt Scoff. I mean, we had an elite goaltender too in Scoffer, and I mean, we went there and just got pumped. And
it was like 3-on-1, 3-on-1.
Oh my gosh! So
because it was one of you two. It was his birthday. He's like, "Hey, thanks a lot for the birthday present."
Oh yeah, it was a fun ride home. So yeah,
those things. One thing, and I saw it last year, where Coach Carlson's team was okay, but they work hard and they will hustle.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just no easy nights in the league, right? I mean, whether whoever team it is, and that's what our guys are going to learn throughout this season. As you and I were talking off air, there are, you know, the two guys you just had on, Johnson, Fordo. I mean, they've played a year in the league, so they know now. I mean, you know, we tell the other guys, and even our veterans will tell the young guys that, you know, this league is it's an every shift league, it's an everyday league, it's an every game league, and there's no like, ooh, we're going to get points tonight. No, I mean, if you have that mindset, you're going to lose, and so you just got to go in and you got to be prepared every night to really just to dig in and play hard, and you know that'll be the case when we get to Cedar Rapids. Again, it's a fun place to play. I always enjoy going there. I think they've got a good arena, they've got a good fan base. They're off to a good start this year too. I mean, they're undefeated right now, and so that's a great challenge for us to go in and play a good team at home and play in a tough environment, and really you know, see how much we've improved in a week, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do. Is you got to get better every day, you got to get better every week, and it's always a great measuring stick when you go into a place like that to see how much you have improved.
They start with goalie. I mean, Blake Patella is 1.49 goals against, .952 save percentage. Obviously, goalies start every team, but is that where their high end is? Forwards, D, kind of define them.
You know, I don't know them as intimate as we will get to know them through the year. I mean, definitely their goaltender has been their strength. So what do we do against that? Well, like we talked earlier in the last segment, I mean, we've got to get bodies and traffic, and we've got to make his night uncomfortable. And if we do that, you know, any goalie is susceptible to that kind of pressure, and, you know, we can get to them, and we have guys that can score goals. And, you know, I think they're just a really good team. They had 2 years ago obviously struggled. Last year they got better. They do have a lot of similarity in some of their players. So they've got a lot of returning players. Grant Solonov's a player I had at Shattuck 2 years ago. To me, he's a guy that I know will be a handful on the ice. I think he's got a handful of points right now, and he's a good player, and he's a guy that can score, and he's a guy that's dangerous offensively. You know, and I think just typical Mark Carlson teams, like, they're good in transition, they're good on the attack, like we were saying in the 10-3 game, you know, from 8 years ago, and that's just typical of his style of play.
Does that mean their D are aggressive? Does that mean D are moving pucks? How do they get that transition? Or as soon as they touch that puck, they think they have possession and they're going?
I think twofold, Curtis. I think their defensemen are usually mobile. They're usually good puck movers, and so they're transitional defensemen. You get the puck, you get out of your zone quick, and you get on the move. And we have to be good with the puck. You know, it's a game where we have to take care of the puck in the neutral zone. We call it the gray zones. You know, the 5 feet inside and outside of the blue lines is the gray zone in hockey, and you've got to be good in the gray zones. You've got to get pucks out of your zone clean. You've got to get pucks into the other team's zone on the attack, and whether that's chip it behind defensemen or use the space that they give you, you have to be able to take care of the puck and manage the puck. If we don't manage the puck well, it's kind of back to that balance of pressure, and it's back on us, and that's, you know, his teams are good at that. And so it's defensemen, but it's his forwards, and it's a mindset that they have, and it'll be that, you know, but that's the kind of team we want to be too, and I think that's the kind of team we can be because we have skilled guys and we have speed, and so it could be a great hockey game.
So they're not going to, they want transition, they want to do that. Are their forwards turning over pucks?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, that's what we're going to try to make them do, you know, because then that'll play into our hands. And I think really, I mean, let's be honest, most games, that's really what part of the game is for every team. The game's about transition, but they're usually good at it. I've been watching them a little bit. I started watching them today on film. It's a big part of the next 2 days, and, you know, I felt like they had pretty good speed. I felt like that was the strength of their game. So we have to check, you know, for us it'll be, can we manage the puck and can we turn them over with playing with our defensemen, who I think are getting a lot better, just playing with what we call gap, and our forwards tracking back hard, and so we really apply the pressure on them to turn the puck over, and then we transition, and so it'll be the battle of transitions, really.
I look, and they have one returning player on D. I don't know who these guys are. They're scoring points. Will Smolik is a good defenseman.
Yep.
He's one of their top defensemen. How are the other guys?
You know, I think it's a typical Mark Carlson team. Like I said, they've got good puck movers that are mobile. I know that's what he likes. I don't know their guys intimately, honestly. I don't. And so watching it on film, I mean, it's sort of this mold of a 5'10 to 5'11 defenseman that can move a puck and can skate. I think it's really what the mold of the league, but that's what their defensemen are. Zamolik's got the experience. Zamolik's probably one of their captains, and it's just really mobile puck-moving defensemen. I think that's really the key. And for our forwards, it'll be, let's be physical with them. Let's establish our forecheck in the game and put the pressure on them, really to take away some of the time and space that they want. I mean, a little bit like we talked with what Green Bay did to us, where they're right on top of our defensemen. I don't care how good of a defenseman you are, that's hard, and that's going to be one of our challenges as well.
One thing back to your teammate, and I know we're up against it, is how do you get your guys to take the shot instead of having easy tap in on the backside? Because you have skilled guys, and it's hard to get those skilled guys off of that.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, and I think that's a good observation, and honestly, that's been a big talk amongst the staff and with the team this week. It was a focus of yesterday. Like, I think we're passing up offense. And offense,
you got good shooters.
We do have good shooters. And you know what? Shooting leads to rebounds, which leads to chaos, which leads to more offense. And that's what our guys have to understand. You're going to make the pretty play sometimes, right? But you're not going to make the pretty play all the time. And so getting a puck in a good scoring area and shooting it is going to go in sometimes, and then you're going to create more offense. And so it really is a big focus for us, Curtis. And I think it's a part of our game that has to grow. Attacking, driving wide with the puck, settling for shots that are maybe a little bit outside, but you know what? We have people going to the net away from the puck, and that creates chaos for their goaltender, who we think is one of their strengths. And so it's going to be a big part of the game. I think if you're talking next week to Coach Strand or myself and we're happy with the results, it'll be because we shot the puck more, we used our speed and attacked, and we got pucks and bodies to the net. And I think they all kind of tie together. If we don't shoot, none of that happens. And I think, you know, I do feel like in the second and third period of the Muskegon game, we started to do that, and we started to tilt the game. I felt like in the Green Bay game, we didn't do it enough. We scored enough goals to win, but we didn't do enough of that to really put the pressure on them.
It did seem like you did it in Muskegon, and I hear the music, but
yep.
You did it, but you were down.
Yeah, we were, and so it was desperation a little bit, which is good.
But it looked good.
And we need to play desperate from the start in Cedar Rapids.
Best of luck. We'll see you at the rink.
Thanks, Curtis.
That is Mark Abalan. He is the associate head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. Musketeer Coaches Show, Bob Rose North End Zone, brought to you by Knife River. And it's time for hockey Saturday night. Of course, Buffalo Wild Wings on the road as well. You can always watch it there. So have a good night. Fox Sports Radio 620, KMNS, Sioux City.